We don't think that environmentally sustainable architecture or green or conscious whatever you call that, is the only way to design a building. It's one of the parameters, not the only parameter. So people who are fanatic about that, we do not agree with them. There are so many other permutations, combinations, user needs that you need to consider. So that can't be the overall binding factor on design. Research also goes to show that all the bad effects of not being an environmentally sustainable design or something, how it is affecting the environment, how it is affecting global warming, those studies also do not really hold water. None. It changes drastically from project to project, and I don't think any two of our projects look similar. They are all very, very different. As we proudly say, we're quite promiscuous in design, so we don't stick to any one style. We're doing a lot of ideation with our team. Yes, it doesn't happen only with us. We like to ideate with our teams. We sit down, see some images on the screen, see what's happening, and that really kind of opens our mind as to what's happening. So inspiration or whatever is derived from there, and then ideas flow. And then since we lead the organization, we have the liberty of choosing the best idea to go forward. And then of course it's given out levels below, and they kind of flesh it out more. The concept is fleshed out later. But the ideation happens with practically everybody in office. Nobody is left out, from the seniors to the juniors. It's a big, nice ruckus kind of a think tank happening here. So then finally we have to take a stand. No? So that stand we take, okay, if people have presented, there are 7-8 ideas are on board, presented by 7-8 different people, from seniors to juniors. But finally, out of our experience, out of having an overall complete look of the project, whether it's budget, completion date, what the client really wants, end user needs, all of that, we keep that in mind and we pick the best design. So there we do behave slightly dictatorial, but that's okay. I mean, that's our responsibility in a way. Yes, we do. As again, going back to our first project, we ended up talking to a lot of end users. See, the engineering college that we got to do came in from people who own the property, the management. Okay, there was Mr. Vishwas Deshpande, who was heading the organization, who runs the organization. So all that G plus 14 story building requirements came from him. I need 50 classrooms, I need 10 HOD cabins, all of that. But finally we realized that college is not for him, it is for the students. So the end user there is completely different. So we did go to his existing facility, which was that time being run out of a temporary shed, and we went and spoke to everybody, from the students to the peons to the teachers, everybody. What do you need in your college? And those insights were also compiled with our research that we had done. And that's how so it was a very holistic kind of a process, not just, imposing our idea of architecture or something. Our idea of architecture was derived from a whole lot of factors as such. I mean, I don't for a moment believe that Indian architecture is any less than anything else on the international platform. The only thing is that the kind of budgets we have here, slight restrictions that we have here, and a lot of unawareness of what architecture can really do to change things at an urban scale and at an individual scale. That's what really does not create architecture that is at a truly international scale. Plus, there is less government initiative in creating public buildings. So there again goes the iconicity. So mostly everything is spearheaded by private individuals, private developers or so, and they will always be very money minded. They will not want to, create something iconic and waste their space and spend a lot of money. So all of those interesting international architecture that we see are also very indulgent, are also very extravagant. There is also a lot of money spent, but we do not do that. So once we start doing that, yes, I don't think we will be any less than any of the international architects, but we still have to reach there. And architects are not responsible for that. The society as a whole has to reach there. That all these things need to be there. There need to be art, there needs to be sculpture, there needs to be, like, I would equate Statue of Liberty with the Chhatrapati Shivaji Memorial. Okay, so there needs to be public things. But then there are a lot of things which are not getting done. So I would say it has to be more wholesome, not just focus on one thing and neglect the rest. So it would have been nice if it was the other things also were getting taken care of. More parks, more institutions, more museums, few years back, I was looking, to take my son to see a ship, a naval ship. And Bombay, with all the naval base, coastline, and India with such a big coastline, there isn't a naval museum where I can take my son to see a submarine or a ship or something. So things like that. More science museums, more naval, museums. So I'm saying कि वो तो ज़रूरी है ही, but बाकी चीज़ें भी ज़रूरी है, उस पर भी ध्यान देना ज़रूरी है. So the journey started around 25 years back after having passed out from architecture. We did a few jobs. Kalhan did a couple of jobs. I also did a couple of jobs. And but then the maths never added up, because the salaries we were earning, I think we were earning some 2,500 per month, and Kalhan had to pay a rent of 4,000 bucks. So it just never added up. So we were left with no choice but to branch out independently on our own. Luckily, I mean, even though we wished for something, it doesn't always happen, but for us it happened. We got a first project for the RPG group. It was a small office project of around 600 square feet, where we had to fit in 42 people and finish the project in 15 days flat. And we had no clue of how to get it done. We started the project, and honestly, architecture college teaches you the theory, but coming down to the practicals, the first project, what I missed saying was, it was a design build. So we didn't only have to design it, we also had to construct it. And we had no clue. Ply का क्या thickness होता है, उसकी costing क्या होती है, how are we going to fit this project in this money and still in that budget and still make money out of it. So we learned from ground up. We stayed on sites, we stayed with the labor, we literally made dirtied our hands in learning French polish ka kya rate hai and all. But it was a great learning experience. So I would really advocate, if anybody is trying to branch out on their own or something, start small, learn ground up, get your hands dirty, learn from the labor. They have more to teach you than the books can. We didn't know, we say 1 inch, but the labor says ek soot. So all these are very interesting things to learn, and they add, that was our grounding. And then went on, and then it was one project after another. Everything was a challenge, everything was a learning experience. We tried to do our best.